So, really, really sad news. We recorded a entire podcast and
it's gone.
It's gone. It was all corrupt. An hour and 20-something minutes. An hour and 20-something minutes.
For nothing.
For nothing.
I had to spend time with you for an hour and 20-something minutes.
It was actually, I felt like it was one of our best. I honestly did. And it's always that way. It's always that way.
It's funny. People are seeing these Mountain Dews half drunk.
We had a taste test of Mountain Dews. We talked about video game memories.
Talked about Chichapa.
Talked about our dog Kenzie pup. So what's y'all's opinion on Pop Rocks?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I can talk about Pop Rocks again.
That's the thing is, it's like so much meat on the bone going into this.
Yeah, I know. And then we sat there and talked for however long about it. Now, if I just rehash what I already said, it just seems fake.
It's so not real. I mean,
I just feel defeated.
You feel deflated. I mean, we're going into this. Yeah, we was high. We was high on the hog. Everything's going good.
It's gonna go viral. This is gonna be our breakout success.
What if it was our breakout episode and it just gone?
Ugh.
Gone forever. Elijah did a song and a dance. He's a songbird of our generation, and all for naught.
I did not do that.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting messages right now from someone who's listened to our old episode and they're saying how funny it is. Well, this one's not going to be as funny.
Which episode?
Actually, it might be the one me and Hannah. It might not even. Yeah, it might not even be the one with you.
Everybody loves Hannah. Us, not so much.
And we talked about this in the previous recording. Listen, guys. Sometimes in life these things happen. So you call an audible. You call a redo. This is what that is.
Let me tell you something. This don't turn out, I'm going home for the night.
This is the sad part of doing these things. And I thank God I haven't had many of these happen. But one time me and Ryan recorded which I thought was a great episode with our friend Eric. And, we lost it, couldn't recover it.
Maybe this is the price of winging it. Me and you, the masters of winging it.
Well, we are the masters of winging it.
Flying it on the seat of our pants.
I don't think this is necessarily our fault. I mean, I did the same thing I've always done. I just don't know what's different. CPU's working kind of hard, but I mean, probably not as hard as it has been.
Probably all that junk you got going on in the background.
Could
all those
be.
Viruses.
Well,
malware.
This laptop gets used for nothing but podcast stuff.
You probably should hit Control-Alt-Delete. So, Chris, where do we go from here?
What do you want to talk about? I mean, do we want to rehash anything that we discussed?
I mean, we got the Mountain Dews right here. Do we want to at least tell them what they are and what our verdict was?
Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead. Yeah, just tell them what it was.
Okay, we've got 2 Mountain Dews that are exclusive to gas stations. This first one, Mountain Dew Overdrive, exclusive to Casey's. Citrus Punch.
You had a much more soft tone the first time you said
I'm a little disgruntled. We all agreed it tasted kind of like a tropical punch Kool-Aid.
Yes.
And then the next one is Mountain Dew Purple Thunder, exclusive to Circle K. No.
Passion fruit.
Okay. The second one now is Purple Thunder, and it is berry plum flavored, and we were not so hot on it. and we thought it tasted like a mouthful of gummy bears. And then the one on the end is a new Baja flavor passion fruit punch. Chris said it tasted like passion fruit high seas, high chews, whatever they're called.
Why don't you break this down? It's one of the funniest things ever.
I'm just so frustrated right now.
It feels like you lost. It feels like you're a team, Elijah. Like you went and played a championship game, and you just went out there and laid an egg. That happens in life. It feels like we just got beat in a championship game.
It was like we got down to the goal line and couldn't punch it in.
Oh my gosh, that's worse. That's worse. We'll let the whole city down.
We got to the goal line, then we hit it play on the recording. It was like,
why do we sound like robots on there? Oh man, I tell you what, boys,
nothing like a Mountain Dew overdrive to wash the pain away.
Let's drown our sorrows and dews, boys. Listen. Sometime in life these things happen. You call audibles. Do you remember that time when we were kids?
Which one?
Do you remember the camping trip? Me, you, Justin.
I am Justin. You stroke out there for a second.
We are falling apart. We had such a great episode. It was probably our best. It was what was going to sell people on the Heavyset Podcast.
It was. That's how good it was.
That's how good. Listen, believe me when I tell you, we had a good episode.
Every other one may be trash. That one
That's
time.
all Elijah's fault.
It's not my fault.
Remember that time we went camping? We all had. I took days off from school just to do this. It was a boys' camping trip. Elijah,
We had a good influence on you. Skip school, let's go camping.
you skipped school. Elijah, you weren't even a thigh yet during this time frame, or maybe you was. I don't know.
I don't think I had even met Hannah yet.
But I remember thinking about childhood memories. Probably one of my favorite childhood memories. At one of my favorite places of all time, which is Shady Lake.
Yeah.
Always tell people,
Beautiful place.
say this is where the Hawthorns go to let their hair down,
Yeah.
whatever hair they got left. You know, it's funny, I remember going out there with people, some friends of mine, and I remember saying to them, this is where the Hawthorns come to let their hair down, and the only people out there were y'all. and I didn't know you guys were going to be out there. I was like, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
I remember being out there, and I wasn't wearing my glasses because we had been swimming.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody be like, hey, who are you? I was like, we're the Hawthorns. And I hear, so are we. And I turned around and it's you. And I was like, what the heck? And we were like the only ones out there.
I am also a Hawthorn. And in fact, I'm your brother. But I remember going out there, me, you, and Ryan and Dad all sleeping in one tent together.
Uh-huh.
And we're all three hefty men. And if you recall, it rained the entire time.
Yes.
It rained every day.
It was very miserable.
And
Yet still enjoyable.
yeah, I mean, it was still fun. I'm trying to get it together here for us, all right?
I need you to pump me up, Chris.
What do you need from me? Do we not want to tell the camping story?
Tell the story. I'm not stopping you from telling the story.
But this is gonna be the most dysfunctional. We're never gonna speak to each other after this. Justin,
Yeah.
we've known each other for a long time.
We're brothers, Chris.
That is true. That is very true. But what's some of your favorite memories from this camping trip?
I thought you were going to finish your story.
Well, we had do you remember the raccoons?
Yes, the raccoons that looked like bear cubs.
Yeah, they were the biggest raccoons I've ever seen.
You
in my
tell
entire
people
life.
were like feeding these suckers whatever out there, and they had like no fear of man, because we were all sitting around the campfire, and then that one like brushed up against Dad's leg. It was just like chilling with us. We were like, "What the crap?"
Yeah, they would not. I remember we spent the time. We spent like an hour trying to hang this trash bag up in a tree.
Yeah.
Dad's like, we got to get this up here. The raccoons are just going to get into it. Well, we finally managed to get it way up, nailed up into this tree. I remember as soon as we zipped up that tent, everything come crashing. As soon as we zipped it up, I'm like, well, so much for wasting the time to get the bag up in the tree.
Here, Coke cans hitting the ground like raindrops.
And I remember waking up that day. We had a Nerf football outside. They had grabbed that Nerf football and was like tore it to shreds, and then took the bar of soap across the creek.
Yeah, had a bite taken out of it and then left on the other side of the creek.
I remember Dad had me go over there and grab it. But the food alone was worth the trip.
My other favorite story from this trip is when we decided to climb the mountain and go to the lookout or whatever it was called. And it is all uphill. It's quite the hike. You have to do it by foot. And at this point in time, I was in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Dad was in pretty good shape. You and Ryan,
Not so much. Apparently not enough to climb this mountain.
We were all walking, started out all walking together, and then you and Ryan started drifting a little bit further behind. And I remember I had just gotten that Razor cell phone.
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
And I was like wanting to take videos all the time. I remember I'm like it was all foggy up there. We were like in the clouds, basically, where all the rain was. And I'm like taking videos, and then I pan down to you and Ryan, and you hear Dad say, "Chris was like, he's about to die."
I kept on thinking, well, we got to be getting close. And finally, me and Ryan's dog tired too. We're looking up there, and I'm like, we lose sight of Dad and your dad and Pop. So I told Ryan, I'm like, hey, we're going to yell out. And if I can't hear these guys, it's like we're getting the frick off this mountain. We're going back down. So I scream. I'm like, Dad, Justin. No answer. I'm like, they're too far. I was like, our journey has come to an end. But the funny thing about that was the whole time up there, me and Dad are talking about, getting in shape again, all this stuff. We ate a bag of cookies on the ride up to this place. And then once me and Ryan come back down, we sat on Justin's tailgate. You had a dead hawk in the back of your truck for whatever reason during this time.
I don't remember that.
I do. And then remember you hit it. It got stuck in your grill, and you were wanting to show it to me, so you left it in the back of your truck. And then me and Ryan sit on the tailgate laughing. We finished the bag of cookies.
Yeah,
waiting for them to get back.
Me and Pop finished climbing up to the top. Spent some time up there. Walk back down. We hear giggling and laughing. Get back! You guys are eating a bag of cookies.
You talking to me or me talking about the dead hawk story reminds me of a story. It's kind of sad, but it's funny in a different kind of way. But I remember going to a friend's house in high school, and this girl that lived next to him, she had a dog, and this dog had got hit by a car, and it wasn't mangled or nothing, we assumed it got hit by a car. It was on the road dead, and it was stiff. And the mom come out, hey, can y'all put this in the back of the truck and get rid of it, because I don't want my daughter to see it, which we knew the girl. She's like, she can't handle it. I was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, we put this dog in the back of the truck. But there's also a Christmas parade in town this night, and we're a bunch of kids, and we completely forget all about this dog that we got to go take care of and haul off. So we go park in town.
You guys are in the parade with a dead dog.
We're in the parade, and we always, when we honestly forget, because we're talking with our friends, doing all this and that. And I never forget, we see people looking in the back of the truck, and then we're like, why is everybody looking? Like, oh my gosh, we're like, we got that dead dog back there. everybody's staring at it. So then we were those guys.
Like, what kind of freaks are these?
I know.
Carrying around dead animals with them.
It was really sad, but it was funny. I almost spit everywhere. But it was funny that we just actually forgot about that. But
back to the camping trip.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Do
you remember on the way back when the Nissan Quest was overheating?
Oh, how could I forget that?
And then Dad's like, we're pulled over. He takes the cap off the radiator and he's like, pour water into it. I'm like, okay. I'm sitting there pouring water, and Dad's like, give me that. Like, yanks out of my hand and starts pouring. I'm like, yeah, because I don't know how to pour water.
Elijah, this day set off a string of inside family jokes that were legendary amongst the Hawthorne clan. Because Justin, all he's doing is pouring water in there.
Yeah.
Pouring water in the radiator cap. Which anybody could do, but when, of course, I don't blame Dad or your pop for being tense, because he's dealing with us kids. He wants to take care of the situation and get things moving. You know how it is. You know how
I
it
like
is.
how you call us kids when we were like full grown adults.
I was a kid.
You were a teenager, but
anyway, yeah, technically, yeah, you were an adult. You're out of high school.
I was dating my wife at the time.
But that's one of the funny, and every time now, because Pop's like, here, let me see it. You pour it like this. Your dad's like, well, apparently I don't know how to pour water. So now every time Justin's doing something for Pop or whatever it is, we're always like, are you sure you know what you're doing, J-Bug, and you pour that?
Yeah, when Dad was in the hospital, he had a cup of ice water, but he had some sort of like packet of drink mix to go in it.
I've got this on video.
And I'm mixing up the drink and I'm stirring it. And you guys are like, you sure you know what you're doing over there?
Oh, God. That's classic.
Another thing that I like from that camping trip is before we left, Mom took a picture of the four of us.
Yeah.
And, of course, you've got that wild, crazy hair. But you're also, for whatever reason, you're holding a jar of pickles.
Yeah.
It looks like some sort of weird, bizarre pickle ad. Like, you some manly men going out on a camping trip? How about some Vlasic pickles?
My hair was the longest it's ever been in that picture. It just was crazy. It had this huge curly fro back when I could grow my hair out. And that picture stayed on the refrigerator for years. And I just always remember holding those. It was like a pickle ad. Well, the worst pickle ad you've ever seen.
Why were you holding a jar of pickles?
We almost forgot them. And then remember, he's like, go grab those pickles. And we were going to go for the photos. Like, oh, well, I just hold these pickles.
Like, oh, my goodness, the pickles, can't leave those.
I honestly think it's time for a Hawthorne men camping trip.
That'd be fun.
Elijah, you've never got to. Have we ever been anywhere? We've just been the Hawthorne men. Mm-mm. It's time for you to get that experience. Go out.
It's gonna have to wait till it cools off.
Yeah, we ain't going now. Yeah, let's go when it cools. Because old Unky Christopher ain't faring too well in this heat. Neither is your dad, from what I've been told.
No. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk.
Do we want to rehash it?
That's up to you. Puts you in a bad light.
Well, it does, but not. It wasn't purposeful. It wasn't like I meant to. I didn't know how sick you was.
That's your story.
That's the truth. I had no idea.
Okay. So I thought I may have been having a heart attack.
That's not funny.
I'm getting phone calls and texts from everybody. but one person was strangely absent from the calls and texts. You.
Well, listen, we all know, as we said in the previous recording, I'm so disconnected from everything. I'm like in my own little island. People don't always deliver me all the information. I always get things secondhand.
I called you and left a message.
No, you did not. So by the time this information got sent to me, I was told that your blood pressure was really out of whack and you had to come home from work and all this stuff, but you were good. You were okay. So by that time that night, I knew you were already in bed. So I didn't want to text you or wake you up or call you. I was like, I'll just talk to him tomorrow. But then by the time tomorrow came, I didn't.
You were on to the next thing.
I was texting you about the podcast.
I was on. Yeah, you were texting me, hey, let's record a podcast. I'm like recouping after I almost died.
But I had no idea you went to the hospital. I had no idea all that took place.
Yeah.
I just thought
fine,
you was a little
by the
out of
way.
way. Yeah, you looking
Don't worry.
No, I mean, I was concerned.
I'd hate for you to stay up at night.
Oh. Elijah, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
We're rocking and rolling around. I really hope that this recording comes out. If not, we're going to be double upset. Way more upset than what we already are.
This don't turn out. You're doing a solo podcast.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I can do one about. I'll be so defeated.
The most hated man in town.
Yeah, just crank that back in.
Yeah.
Elijah Blake, what's on your mind, buddy? I mean, what are you thinking about? Tell me. Anything.
I'm really irritated that the first one did not work.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. Like I said, it's like losing you can't punch it in the goal line of the championship game. What's something that you've always wanted to ask your dad?
Gonna put me on the spot.
Anything?
No.
What do you want for Christmas this year? A pool?
Yes, I do want a pool.
I gave them the option between a trip to Branson or a pool, like an above ground pool that you can buy from Walmart or whatever. They looked at me and go, a pool. I was like,
who wants
what?
to go to that? Wait, you think that a trip to Branson is better than a
Silver Dollar City?
even above ground pool?
Yeah. We went to Branson.
Wait a minute. So you gave them the option, but there really was no option.
I threw it out there, and they were like, so they jumped on the pool. I was like shell shocked, like, no.
Did you really think? I mean, why? I could see you saying, like, going to Florida or the pool or somewhere but Branson.
Now there's a lot to do up there.
I don't.
Let me tell you, Chris.
For a kid?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing of Branson. It's like a family.
I mean, I know it's
destination.
I know it's a touristy place, but like, what? Okay,
If he
then.
would have said Florida, I guarantee we would still say the pool.
I could have said I'll take you to the moon.
Mr. Fancy Pants McGee over here is dogging Florida now. Actually, you probably are right. A pool, because you're going to think about it. I mean, you get a trip to Florida, but the pool's going to pay itself every day. You're going to get to lay in that thing and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Why give them the option and when there really was no option?
No, Chris. Sometimes you do things you don't really think it out.
Story of my life. Story of my life.
Like I tell Hannah a lot of times, and I tell the kids this too. Sometimes I do stuff for my enjoyment. Sometimes I'll go like, hey, Elijah, and I have no idea what I'm about to say, but I know it's going to be something weird and off the wall.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, my brain ain't working right, and I'll go, hey, Elijah. He'll go, what? I'll be like, I don't know. I got nothing. I'll be like, I was going to say something really weird to you, but I don't even know what I'm going to say now, so never mind.
That's a Hawthorne specialty. I say weird things to people all the time. I just want to see that shock and awe.
Yeah.
That like, what? What are you talking about?
And people don't know how to take it. And then they're really confused for a little bit.
Yeah. I love to see What I love to see when I mess with people in that way is their gears turning.
Them working it out.
Yeah, they're like, you can see them doing those mental gymnastics of like, what is he talking about? Like, I don't get it, and I love that. I live for that.
I tell you, when I was in the hospital, Delaney was texting Hannah, and she was asking about me, but then they were talking about something else, and Hannah handed me her phone and would want me to read it. I was sitting there reading it, and then I just sent a text back that says, "I like pie." So it's coming from Hannah's phone to Delaney. It's just like, "I like pie." I'm just dying out laughing. And she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "It's just something so weird and off the wall. It has nothing to do with what they're talking about." But I enjoy that because I know Delaney's getting it and be like, "What the heck is this?"
I looked at Delaney and I saw her go, "I like pie."
I did this to you today. What I text you this morning?
Oh,
hold on.
Something about the Chevy Bumpy.
I don't know what it was. Let me go look at our text. Sounds good. Or you were like, Elijah's going to be on the podcast. I'm like, sounds like a Jolly Jack splendid idea. I didn't go to bed that whole night.
Yeah.
By the way. But I was just like, out of nowhere, you want to talk about Chevy bumpers? All I get from you is a question mark. I was like, I'm just messing with
I
it.
thought it was some sort of slang for something. I was like, oh, I don't know what the heck this is.
Oh, man. I do that to people all the time. I will send, like, back when I had Snapchat, it was just it was a bad thing. Because I would be, like, taking a shower or something like that, sing a song, or, like, record myself and just send it to my friends.
I received those.
I'd put shaving cream on my man boobs or something weird, just take a photo of it. A lot of bad decisions during those times, all just to make people laugh.
You keep saying screenshotted by such and such.
Yeah, sometimes it happened. But it's the type of humor I live for.
Yeah.
I think that's why God put me on this earth. That type of humor.
To enjoy, that's only enjoyed by you alone.
Yeah, other people are like, what is wrong with this guy?
The thing is, we're all like that. The three Hawthorne brothers, we all do that same stuff to people. It's like the story of Ryan drinking his friend's drink at work. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, of course. So it's happened to us 1,000 times.
Yeah, he would do it to us, but he would like his friend would sit his drink down. Then Ryan would get it when he wasn't looking, guzzle it, and then crush it. Crush the can in his face.
That was your Uncle Ryan's signature. You'd be drinking something several times throughout our childhood, probably 1,000 times. Ryan would come to you, be like, "Hey, can I take a sip of that?" And you already knew. But it didn't matter. He would literally grab it and just like, and then just throw it at you or something, just like maniacally. Then he'd point at you and laugh at you.
With one eye closed.
Always his signature one eye shut. And I'd be like, dude, like every time though, like, and to this day, if Ryan gets a chance, you remember Ryan, like Ryan lives to dupe me.
Let me say one thing.
Yeah.
What's funny is, poor Ryan.
We love you, Ryan Buns.
Because if he had listened to the previous podcast that we lost,
Ryan, if you're listening to this, the previous podcast, we went on a rant about you for like 30 minutes.
Now this.
Yeah, about something completely different.
Yeah, completely different. We love Ryan. You know we love you. But go ahead. Finish your story.
Oh my gosh, what a disaster. What a disaster this night has turned into. What is going on?
Hey, we're having fun, though.
Yeah, we're having fun. You know what? It feels like we've been up for days and we're delirious.
A little bit.
But what was I even talking about?
Ryan?
Oh, right, back to you, Ryan. Yeah, like Ryan, and it's so, this is carried on into adulthood. Ryan telling me the famous story of, he goes, Grandma makes this thing called raspberry pie.
Yeah.
And then Ryan tells me during Thanksgiving, he's like, hey, you know, Grandma's changing the name of it to her raspberry pie. I'm like, why is she changing the name of it? But it sounds like something she would do. You know, something kind of funny. He goes, she's changing the name. Instead of raspberry pie, it's called a huckleberry sniz. And I'm like, dude, I'm just like, dude, what? We're grown. We're adults.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, she's changing the name to Huckleberry Sneeze. Like, ask Dad about it. So we crank on later, and I go to Dad, and I'm like, what is the deal with her changing the name from Raspberry Pie to Huckleberry Sneeze? Dad's like, dude, what? He's like, I think your brother's pulling a fast one on you. He's like, that did not happen. And I was like, dang it, Ryan. I was like, will you stop duping me? And he's laugh. He does that classic, when I shut, laugh. I would love, if Ryan had a book about him, the front cover of that book would have to be his one eye shut with this red face, maniacal laugh.
What's funny is I can just imagine him right now listening to this and laughing maniacally with that one eye closed.
Ryan's his own thing. Like, Ryan's his own species, his own character. He's a lot of things and he's no things. Like, it's hard to explain.
I mean, is this like our main topic, Ryan?
What a disaster the day has been. And we don't even know if this recording's going to work.
Yeah,
if this recording doesn't work, talk about sad.
And then nobody's going to hear this.
Nobody will hear this.
Ryan will be saved again.
Yeah, right.
He already got torched in the last podcast.
Yeah, we already tore him up once. And but here's the thing. And the second time he duped me was because he knows I love documentaries, and he had me hooked, and I should have known, but he had me hook, line, and sinker. He's talked about this old meat factory that was using roadkill for their meat processing plant and selling it to people. And they got caught doing it, and apparently there was like a bunch of skunk tails and stuff hanging up in the facility. There was and he said the documentary was called "The Enemy of My Enemy is Baloney." And I thought, that's an odd name, but he knows I'm into stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he knew that would get me. So I go home, and I'm researching, and I plan my whole day around this. I'm researching, I'm putting into the enemy of my enemy is baloney. And I keep on, maybe I'm not spelling baloney right. I keep on going back. Finally, I text him, and Ryan's like, it should be on there. Keep on looking for it. And then finally, it just dawns on me. And I'm like, you son of a gun. And I was like, you're duping me again, are you? He goes, and Ryan's next text to me it goes, yeah, enjoy that documentary with a big slice of Huckleberry Sniz. And I was fuming. I was like, how? Like, why did I let this happen?
And the thing is, who comes up with something like that? Like, it's so bizarre. Like, and it's just like, I'm sure he just thought of it on the spot.
Yeah, it's all random. Just random stuff. That's the thing about it. It's not like he's putting in all this thought into it. It's just a throwaway thing, and it's like, but he lets it marinate and turn into this whole thing. But I catch him now. I've been burned too many times. Now I know he tells me things.
Now you question everything he tells you.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever you like. I'm not believing this because I'm not going down with this shit.
Took you 30 years, but you finally wised up to it. Hey. He's got me before too. I remember when we were little, and I say a little, when we were Elijah's age, a little bit younger, I remember Ryan. This is going to be kind of gross. I remember Ryan said that his belly button smelled like chocolate. And he would stick his finger in his belly button and he'd say, "Smell it."
Oh,
And it is the foulest thing you have ever smelled in your life. Sorry, Ryan, for saying this.
people listening, if you've made it this far, if you want to know why we are the way that we are, listen to these stories.
Ryan had a big influence on me.
Right? And I'm not saying it's a negative influence or nothing like that, but like the reason why the things that I find funny, like Ryan really shaped both of our humor in this weird way. That like
But who made his humor that way?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing is, it's like, and I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not out here just, you know, saying like I'm blaming Ryan for my mistakes or.
It's like some sort of weird therapy session.
Oh my God. Whenever he listens to this,
He's either going to think it's hilarious or be really upset.
we're not saying bad things.
We're just telling some stories.
We're just telling it like it is. I mean, listen. All I'm saying is we got some weird personality traits. And I'm sitting here connecting the dots. And I'm like figuring out, like, I'm finding things out about myself. I'm finding some things out about myself. And a lot of it stems from Ryan.
I haven't laughed this hard in a long time.
I'm crying. And I'm sweating.
Well, it's like, I know we've talked about it before, but the time Ryan walked out of the back room and he had like a cup, it was filled to the brim with a yellow liquid, and he was like, "Hey Justin, you want some Mountain Dew?" And I'm like, first of all, I know we don't have any Mountain Dew. Second of all, this sucker's piping hot. And he's got the one eye closed. Yeah. He's like, "You trying to get me to drink your pee?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No."
And like, I can't tell you how many times I peed in a cup and try to have my friends drink. Like, that influence.
You've done that to other people?
Yeah. Like, because here's the thing.
I'll be right back.
Justin, what about the Game Boy story?
Oh my God.
Let me ask you a honest question. Is that story too far?
Maybe.
It might be. Let's save it for another day. Have you ever heard the Game Boy story?
No.
Oh God. It is. It's not so much funny for your dad. It makes it sound kind of weird, but it is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think we can tell that story. None on here. It's not real family friendly.
Oh God, it's great though. I'll tell you once we stop recording.
Ryan, we love you.
Exactly. That's something. Let's put a bow on this. Listen, Rye Buns. This podcast was not an anti-Rye Buns podcast. This is not what it is. It's just. It's not what this is about. This is about we're three brothers and our son/nephew, we're just sitting here talking about old times.
Yeah.
We love Rye Buns. We wouldn't be the people we are today without Rye Buns molding our humor. I would have probably never started the podcast.
No.
Elijah would have never started his own business.
Okay.
All right. So, are we putting a bow on this podcast?
Ryan's gonna listen to this. And he's gonna be like, what the heck is this?
Ryan, I promise you, we had a very structured episode before this, and this has just been whatever.
We were talking about video game memories.
Yeah, we talked about video game memories, which was part of our Rye Buns rant.
Yeah.
Listen, we love you, Rye Buns. I cannot wait to you listen to this, and I hope it all recorded. If not, it's going to be really sad again.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, as always, we got anything else we want to discuss?
What do you got for the people, Chris?
What got for the people? Sometimes you get knocked down in life. Sometimes you record a whole an hour and a half podcast, and sometimes it don't work. And what do you do? What do you do, Elijah? You tell me, what do you do? Do you lay down? Do you quit?
No, you get back up and try again.
And then sometimes you laugh the hardest you've laughed.
I'm honestly extremely happy now. Because I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. And I hope all this comes out.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be sad if we listen it's messed up.
So we hope you enjoy this weird menagerie podcast that this is. As always, reach out to us at the Heavyset Podcast at gmail.com. Or join the Heavyset Podcast Facebook group. Go down to the YouTube channel, Elijah. Hit subscribe. Hit that like button. Maybe the notification bell if you're feeling a little dirty with it. Go to TikTok. Subscribe to our TikTok thing. You got anything, buddy?
Go open the door for someone and don't smoke.
You got anything?
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. I love you guys for watching this. Love you, buddy.
Love you.
Love you.
And
Love you, Ryan.
I love you, Ryan. Hey,
We love you.
we love you, Ryan.
Love you, Uncle.
This is the tribute podcast. If you think about it.
More like a roast.
I don't know. It's a tribute. It's a tribute podcast to Rye Buds.
For the picture for this podcast, we need to come up with a picture of Ryan looking like a king. So maybe it'll just be Ryan with the big corn dog.
All right. Love you guys. This has been the Heavyset Podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.